Geez, your mom only went to middle school and works part-time. Do you just care about money? When my mom told my future father-in-law she was a janitor, everyone laughed. He sneered seriously. A cleaning lady. That's as low as it gets. It hurt me deep. They were making fun of my mom who raised me on her own. It was so mean. I couldn't imagine being related to them. Let's just forget this happened, I said coldly, trying to move on. My name's Emily Yale. I'm 26. I graduated from a public college with a teaching degree, and now I teach English at a public high school. I enjoy my life. Today, I'm going on a date with my boyfriend, John, on a weekday, something we haven't done in a while. We're going to a restaurant he picked. Sorry, I'm late. You've had a busy week, John said when he got there. You too. Thanks for all your hard work, I said. John, my age, finished medical school and is now a resident doctor. We met in college and have been dating for 5 years. He's really kind and genuine, almost too good for me. Sometimes when we're both stressed with exams, we'd argue, but we always make up and help each other. As I ate dessert, I noticed this restaurant was fancier than usual. Suddenly, John got serious. My residency's ending soon. Being a doctor is tough, but I want us to be together through it all. Emily. Will you marry me? He showed me a ring. Tears filled my eyes as I looked at him. Yes, I'm so happy. We can always rely on each other. I said, my voice shaking, as I accepted his proposal. I thought my mom would be happy for us, but she seemed hesitant. My mom, Linda, lost her husband when I was young and raised me by herself. My grandpa once suggested we live together, but she wanted just us two. I met my grandparents for the first time in elementary school because I got married against my parents' wishes. I was young and stubborn, so I didn't rely on them right away. My mom always says, I might have caused you to suffer because of that. But I never felt that way. She's always been positive, kind, and loving. She's the most important person in my life and who I want to be like. When John and I went to tell my mom about our engagement, she blessed us with all her heart. John said, Thank you. I'm excited for our future. My mom was almost in tears, happy for us. I said, We should also tell your parents. Thank you. I didn't see my family much since boarding school and college, but they'll be happy. Make sure to introduce yourself properly to John's family. You're becoming part of their family, my mom said, fully supporting us. I heard John's family are all doctors. His dad owns a hospital, and his mom stays at home. He also has a younger brother who's 8 years younger. I hope we get along, but meeting them makes me nervous. Don't worry, I'll find us a place to live, John said. Thanks. I'm nervous, but I'm excited too. I believed a bright future was ahead of us, until that day, the meetup, 2 months later. We waited in a fancy restaurant's private room as John's parents and brother arrived a bit late. Nice to meet you. This is my mom. My dad runs a clinic. Mom's a full-time housewife. And this is my brother, a high school senior. John introduced them. We introduced our families. John's doctor parents looked impressive, but his brother seemed more casual with messy hair and a disheveled uniform, glued to his phone. Then John said, I want to marry her. His dad gently corrected him. First, let's learn about her family. If we're becoming family, we should understand their background and character. His mom added, assessing us with serious eyes. Where's your father today? His dad asked. I've told John to say we're a single-parent household. Something's off. My dad passed away when I was young, so my mom raised me alone. I explained. His brother exaggeratedly twisted his face and said, seriously? Just one parent? Ridiculous. The one with the attitude crossing his legs was John's arrogant younger brother. What's that supposed to mean? My mom raised me alone, and I'm thankful for it, I said, raising my voice. Mind your manners and put away your phone, John scolded him, and his brother turned away angrily. You're a high school teacher, right? His mom asked me this time. Yes, I teach English at a public high school, I replied. As soon as I spoke, his family all chimed in at once. A teacher. None of us are teachers, and she's in humanities. Isn't she unsuitable for our son? We wanted him to marry a doctor's daughter. A public high school teacher seems plain and poor. I'm in a totally different world. I already have a recommendation for medical school, they said bluntly. John, shocked by their words, spoke up. She's an amazing woman. She's dedicated to her job. Don't talk about her like that. Then his dad glanced at my mom. We haven't agreed to their marriage yet. A single mother and a teacher. What about you, ma'am? Can we ask about your education and job? My mom replied firmly, I've done different jobs since my husband died. Right now, I work as a janitor at a hospital. I only finished middle school. Before my mom finished, his family started laughing. Oh, she only went to middle school and does part-time work. Must have been very poor. His father dismissed my mother. Seriously, even with just a high school diploma, you're in a tough spot. So now she's a cleaning lady. Lowest of the low, his younger brother sneered. Your mom only finished middle school and works part-time. I couldn't even imagine such a life. Marrying into a family of doctors, I couldn't comprehend their attitude. Was this marriage just for money? His mother's dramatic frown delivered the final blow. As I suspected, we can't approve this marriage, his father declared, as if it were final. How terrible. I was stunned, speechless. Insulting me was one thing, but mocking my mother who raised me alone was unforgivable. I couldn't be part of this family. Stopping my mother from standing, I stood up. I understand how you all feel, so let's pretend this meeting never happened. Is that acceptable? With a cold, emotionless face, I declared. After a moment of silence, his family exchanged glances and burst into laughter. I thought you had something important to say. We're the ones calling off the engagement. Did you realize we were going to reject you and decided to end it first out of pride? His parents said, smug. Wait, that's not it. John couldn't stand his parents' behavior. I'm sorry. I can't be part of this family. I'm really sorry for their rudeness. Seeing our serious conversation, his parents paused their laughter. Why are you apologizing? You should find a more suitable partner. Maybe another doctor or a wealthy woman, they said. I stopped John from saying more and asked, would it have been better if I were a rich heiress? Of course, even if you're not a doctor, being rich wouldn't be a problem. You could help our hospital, right, dear? That might even be better for us. His parents laughed, continuing their show. So, you're saying you'd pass up such an opportunity? I challenged. What do you mean? They looked confused. By marrying our son, you'd gain some wealth. Where would a janitor and a regular teacher get that kind of money? John sighed heavily, rubbing his temples. What's going on? You're acting strange, his dad said, oblivious. Did you even listen to their introductions? Does the name Yale not mean anything to you? John asked. What about it? Not worth remembering such a family, his dad replied. Yale, huh? His dad seemed to catch on. Right. My grandpa chairs Yale University, and she's his daughter. Yale Academy, that elite place with everything from kindergarten to university? It has a medical school and hospital. His dad's eyes widened. Yeah, that Yale. You've heard of it, right? I said, taking charge. No way. A Yale Academy daughter dropping out of middle school to become a janitor? That's impossible, his parents exclaimed. Exactly. Your lie will be found out right away. If you're feeling guilty, come up with a better lie, I advised them. My mom works as a janitor in hospitals and schools, right? I'm talking about the hospitals and grad schools at Yale. What? She's undercover as a janitor? That's fancy talk for spying, right? Her job is to check on the school while cleaning and report any problems. My grandpa asked her to do it. If you don't believe it, go check, John explained. What? What? My detailed explanation seemed to convince them. His parents started to panic. Why didn't you tell us this sooner? Yes, if we knew that, we would have. This is what happens when you don't listen to people, his parents admitted, feeling foolish. I was about to explain further when I was cut off. I was ready to answer any questions, but it was unfortunate. I couldn't forgive how they insulted my mom. I quietly responded, my mom dropped out of middle school due to poor health since childhood. She had a brother to carry on the family line, so my grandpa prioritized her health over education. After middle school, she moved to a country house for ongoing treatment and rest. There, she fell in love with my dad. She argued with my grandparents, who wanted her to marry into a suitable family and left home to marry. They didn't rely on her family at all. But when my dad died and she raised me alone, my grandparents suggested we come back. She didn't agree immediately. I was stubborn, she said. She felt guilty for leaving and then asking to return. Over time, they wanted to see their grandchild and their relationship improved. Changing her name back to Yale was for my sake. His brother was stunned. So I told him, "It seems you've been recommended for medical school." "Which university?" What? What? John's brother was caught off guard by the sudden change in topic. "Oh, so it's Vassar College's medical?" "Oh." His mother realized something as she said that. "Vassar College is linked to Yale. If I mention today's events, your admission recommendation could be canceled, right?" "Hey, don't joke. Our son got in, and nothing can change that. We even pay extra to cover his grades. Canceling it now would be ridiculous." His dad slipped up, admitting to bribery. Both John and I said together, "You went that far, Dad." No, it's not." His father was clearly flustered, his mom and brother turning pale beside him. Treating admissions so lightly, was it all about money? "Did you bribe this teacher?" I pressed. No, I already said. The president of Vassar College is my uncle. If I report this, he'll investigate thoroughly, I warned. "What right do you have?" "You're so arrogant," his mom snapped, her face red with anger. "I hold no authority here. But I was told I'd eventually work at Yale," I explained calmly. "Say what now?" His mother's tone softened. "Oh, let's calm down. Let's forget what's happened. Your behavior will determine if I approve of this marriage. Is that fair?" Yeah. Our son is also the clinic's heir. He needs our approval to marry. You want to marry John, right?" His father was on board, and his brother added, "Just let them get married and don't cut me out." Faced with their selfishness, John exploded, "I don't need your permission. I'm cutting ties with you all." "What?" His family was stunned. "I always thought you were pretentious because we're doctors, but I never expected this at our first meeting with my partner." "What are you saying? Fine, cut us off." Facing his speechless parents, he continued, "Unashamed of how you treated her and her mom, and bribing for my brother's admission. I despise you. I'm marrying her and being happy. Stay out of our lives." With that, his parents were flustered. "So, you're not taking over the clinic? If our other son doesn't get into medical school, there's no heir." He brushed off his parents. "I'm not taking over. I've been asked to work as a surgeon after Yale. I'm considering that over working at your clinic." "What? I don't care. Let him take over." "Wait, we have patients counting on you." "That's right. We'll be in trouble if you don't take over." Ignoring the chaos, he turned to my mom. "I'm sorry. I want to cut ties with my family and build a home with your daughter. Please let us marry." His voice trembled a bit. "You don't need to apologize. I didn't fall for you because you're a doctor. I fell in love with your kindness and sincerity." My mom, standing beside him, nodded. "That's right. You're kind and respectable. Being a surgeon is amazing. I support your dreams and happiness." "Thank you. I'd appreciate it." He continued to bow, and my mom smiled. His family watched in shock. "Mom, let's go home. There's no point in staying." "Agreed. We'll leave. If you need anything, contact us." My mom left Yale's legal advisor's business card as she left. 1 year has passed since then, and John and I are happily married, living together. He's been working diligently as a skilled surgeon at the hospital after graduating from Yale. Despite his busy schedule and lack of sleep, I'm glad to see his enthusiasm for his work. My grandfather, who admires him, hopes he'll join our university's hospital in the future. As for his family, the truth about my brother-in-law's bribery came out, and the teacher who took the money was punished. His admission was revoked, and he's now trying to get into med school through regular channels. But it's tough given his attitude. His parents' clinic struggled because of the director's arrogance. Patients left when they realized John wouldn't take over, and most of the staff quit due to his mom's behavior. They faced social backlash and eventually closed the clinic. As for me, I've started studying educational administration at my grandfather's suggestion. He hopes I'll contribute to managing our institutions. With guidance from my uncle and seniors, I'm learning and growing. My mom said, "It's great to see our family grow closer." I'm truly happy to hear that. I want to give back more in the future. Though my days are busy, I'm grateful for the support from my mom and husband.